I'm 29 years old, and I never thought I'd spend my little sister's wedding sitting completely alone at a table in the back corner of the reception hall, watching everyone else celebrate while I felt like a ghost. But that's exactly what happened at Madison's wedding last month, and it's a humiliation I'll never forget. Madison is 4 years younger than me, and we used to be close. Growing up, I was the one who braided her hair for school, taught her how to ride a bike, stayed up late helping her with homework. But something shifted when we became adults. She got engaged to Ryan 2 years ago, a successful finance guy with a trust fund and country club memberships. Meanwhile, I'm a freelance graphic designer who lives in a modest apartment and drives a used car. The engagement period was tense. Madison became obsessed with having the perfect wedding, and I started noticing that I was increasingly left out of planning. She didn't ask me to be a bridesmaid, which hurt, but she said she was keeping the bridal party small, to just her 3 best friends from college. Fine. I could accept that. But then came the shower, where I was seated at a table with distant cousins who barely acknowledged me while Madison's friends got the spotlight. Then the bachelorette party in Miami that I wasn't invited to because Madison said it was only for the bridal party. Each exclusion stung, but I told myself to be supportive. This was her day, after all. 3 weeks before the wedding, I finally asked her directly, "Maddie, is everything okay between us? I feel like you've been distant." She looked at me with this cool expression I'd never seen before. "Everything's fine, I'm just busy with wedding planning. You understand. I want to help. I'm your sister. Let me do something, help with favors, set up anything. The wedding planner has everything under control. We don't need help." The way she said, "we" felt like a deliberate exclusion. Like I wasn't part of the we that mattered. The week before the wedding, my mom called about the seating chart. "Honey, I wanted to give you a heads up. Madison made some interesting choices with the seating." My stomach dropped. "What kind of choices?" "Well, your father and I are at the parents' table near the head table, obviously. Your aunts and uncles are together at table 4. Madison's friends are at tables near the dance floor. And you're at table 12. Okay? Where's table 12? A long pause. "It's in the back left corner, near the kitchen doors." "Who else is at that table?" Another pause. "That's the thing, sweetie. You're the only one at that table right now. Madison said she might add some last-minute guests there, but as of now, it's just you." I felt like I'd been slapped. She put me at a table by myself? In the back corner? At her wedding? I tried to talk to her about it, but she said the seating chart was final. She seemed angry when I brought it up. Said something about you, knowing what you did, and that this was her wedding and her choice. What I did? Mom, what is she talking about? I haven't done anything. I don't know, honey. She wouldn't explain. Your father and I are as confused as you are. I immediately called Madison. She didn't answer. I texted her. Can we please talk about the seating chart? No response. I tried again the next day. Maddie, I don't understand what's happening. What did I do wrong? Nothing. 2 days before the wedding, she finally texted back. The seating chart is done. I don't have time for drama right now. Just show up and be happy for me for once. Be happy for her for once? Like I hadn't spent months congratulating her, sending her wedding ideas, offering to help with anything she needed. I called my mom crying. I don't know if I should even go. She clearly doesn't want me there. You have to go, Emily. She's your sister. Maybe there's been a misunderstanding. Maybe it'll all make sense at the wedding. So I went. I bought a beautiful emerald green dress, got my hair done, and showed up at the church with a smile plastered on my face, determined to be supportive despite everything. The ceremony was beautiful. Madison looked stunning in her lace gown, and Ryan seemed genuinely happy. I sat with my parents in the family section, and for a moment, things felt normal. I even teared up during their vows. But then came the reception. The banquet hall was gorgeous. Edison bulb string lights, elegant floral centerpieces, a live band. Everyone filed in, found their table cards, and started settling in with their groups. I found my card. Emily, table 12. I walked through the entire reception hall, past tables of laughing family members, past Madison's college friends taking selfies together, past Ryan's groomsmen already getting drinks at the bar. Table 12 was exactly where my mom had said, back left corner, partially hidden behind a decorative column, right next to the swinging kitchen doors. And I was completely alone. The table was set for 8 people. 7 empty chairs surrounded me. 7 place settings that would never be filled. A centerpiece of white roses that would be my only company. I sat down and immediately felt every eye in the room on me. Cousins whispering. Aunts giving me sympathetic looks. Madison's friends glancing back at me and then leaning together to gossip. My mom came over within minutes, her face stricken. "Honey, this is ridiculous. Come sit with us at the parents' table." "There's no room, Mom. And if Madison wanted me there, she would have put me there." "Then sit with your Aunt Carol and Uncle Jim. And make this an even bigger scene?"
No.
"I'll be fine." My dad came over next, angry in a way I rarely saw him. "I'm going to talk to Madison about this. This is unacceptable. Dad, please don't. It's her wedding day. I don't want to ruin it. She's already ruined it by treating her own sister like this." But I begged him not to make a scene, and reluctantly, he went back to his table. The reception continued around me. Appetizers were served. I ate alone while everyone else chatted with their tablemates. The best man gave a hilarious toast. I laughed by myself while entire tables roared together. The first dance happened. I watched from my corner while couples around the room held hands and swayed. Every so often, someone would walk past my table to get to the bathroom and give me a pitying smile or an awkward wave. My cousin Jennifer stopped by and whispered, "Do you want to come sit with us?" But there was literally no room at her table, and I couldn't bear the charity. The worst moment came during the father-daughter dance. My dad danced with Madison, both of them smiling and emotional. Then Madison danced with Ryan's father. Then they invited all the family members to join them on the dance floor: parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins. Everyone got up. Everyone except me. I sat at table 12, alone, watching my entire family dance together, while I remained isolated in my corner. I could see my mom looking for me in the crowd, her expression falling when she realized I wasn't there. Madison saw me too. Our eyes met across the reception hall. I expected her to look guilty, or sad, or something. Instead, she looked away quickly and pulled Ryan closer, as if to make a point. That's when I realized this wasn't an oversight or a seating chart mistake. This was deliberate. This was punishment. But punishment for what? I still had no idea what I'd supposedly done to deserve this. I was seriously considering leaving early, just slipping out and going home, when someone approached my table. At first, I thought it was a waiter bringing dessert. But when I looked up, I saw it was Ryan, the groom, still in his tuxedo with his tie slightly loosened. He stood there awkwardly for a moment, looking at the 7 empty chairs around me, and said something I never expected. "Emily, I am so sorry. This is wrong. This is all wrong. Can I sit down? We need to talk." I stared at Ryan, completely frozen. The groom was standing at my isolated table in the back corner, apologizing to me at his own wedding reception. Around us, guests were dancing, laughing, completely oblivious to this surreal moment. I managed to get out. Ryan pulled out the chair next to me and sat down heavily, running his hand through his hair. He looked exhausted and conflicted in a way that made my stomach twist with anxiety. "I didn't know," he said quietly, gesturing at the empty table around us. "I didn't know she was going to do this to you. I saw the final seating chart this morning, and I lost it. We had a huge fight about it before the ceremony." My mind was reeling. "You fought about me? On your wedding day? Not just about you. About everything this represents." He looked toward the dance floor where Madison was laughing with her bridesmaids, completely carefree. "Emily, I need to tell you something, and I don't know if I should, but sitting here watching you alone all night, I can't stay quiet anymore." My heart started pounding. "What are you talking about?" Ryan leaned forward, his voice low enough that only I could hear over the band. "Madison told me you tried to sabotage our relationship. She said you told her not to marry me, that you said I wasn't good enough for her, that you've been jealous and unsupportive this whole time." That's why you weren't made a bridesmaid. That's why you're sitting alone back here. She said it was either exclude you, or you'd ruin the wedding with your negativity. I felt like the floor had dropped out from under me.
What?
Ryan, I never said any of that. I've never said a single negative thing about you. I barely know you. I know. His voice was quiet but firm. I know that now. What do you mean you know that now? He pulled out his phone and, after a moment of scrolling, turned it toward me. It was a text conversation between him and my mother from earlier that day. Mom, 9:47 a.m. Ryan, I'm so sorry to text you on your wedding day, but I'm very concerned about how Emily is being treated. Madison told us Emily has been unsupportive, but that's simply not true. Emily has been nothing but happy for you both. I don't know what's really going on, but my daughter doesn't deserve to be humiliated like this. Ryan, 10:15 a.m. I'm starting to think there's a lot I don't know. We need to talk after the honeymoon. I looked up at Ryan, tears stinging my eyes. Why would she lie about me? Why would she tell you I said those things? Ryan's jaw clenched. Because 3 months ago, you did something that Madison apparently can't forgive you for. Even though you didn't even know you were doing it.
What?
What did I do? He hesitated, clearly wrestling with whether to continue. Then he sighed. Do you remember Madison's engagement party? Back in March. Of course. I was there. I brought that champagne you guys liked, and you talked to my brother Jake for about 20 minutes. I blinked, confused. Your brother? The one who came in late? Yeah. We chatted while we were both getting drinks. He seemed nice. We talked about his job in Seattle, I think. Maybe about hiking? I don't really remember, it was just small talk. Jake told me later that night that he thought you were interesting. Smart, funny, down to earth. He asked about you, if you were single, what you did for work, that kind of thing. My confusion was growing. Okay. Madison overheard him asking about you. And she lost her mind.
What?
Why? Ryan looked uncomfortable. Because Madison had a massive crush on Jake for years. Before she met me. She always hoped something would happen between them, but Jake never saw her that way. When she couldn't have Jake, she ended up with me. The implications of what he was saying hit me like a truck.
Wait.
Are you saying she settled for you? I'm saying I'm starting to wonder if she chose me partly because I'm Jake's brother and it kept her in his orbit. Ryan's voice was hollow. And when Jake showed interest in you at our engagement party, interest he never showed in her, something in Madison broke. She decided you were trying to steal the one person she'd always wanted. In her mind, you were the villain trying to ruin her happiness. I couldn't breathe. But I didn't. I wasn't. Ryan, I had no idea about any of this. It was just a conversation. I've never thought about your brother again since that night. I believe you. But Madison doesn't. Or won't. She's convinced you were flirting with Jake to hurt her. That you've always been jealous of her. That you can't stand to see her happy. That's insane. I know. He looked miserable. I didn't realize how insane until I saw this seating chart and your mother's text. I've been watching you all night sitting here alone and I keep thinking, what kind of person does this to their own sister? Over a conversation at a party. Does Jake even know about this?
No.
And here's the thing, Jake asked me a few weeks ago if you were coming to the wedding. He wanted to say hi, maybe get your number. I told Madison, thinking she'd be happy that my brother liked her sister. Instead, she had a complete meltdown. She said if I gave Jake your number, she'd call off the wedding. She said you were toxic and manipulative and she needed me to choose between my loyalty to her or my brother's crush. Oh my God. I chose her. Obviously. He gestured at his tuxedo. I'm here, married, and I just promised to love her forever. But Emily, I'm sitting here wondering if I just made the biggest mistake of my life. The vulnerability in that statement shocked me. Ryan, you can't say things like that. You just got married. To someone who is capable of this. He gestured at my empty table. To someone who would humiliate her own sister in front of 200 people because of some perceived threat that doesn't even exist. What does that say about who Madison really is? I didn't know how to answer that. Part of me wanted to defend my sister, to say she was just stressed, just protective, just being a bride. But sitting at this table alone, with 7 empty chairs around me, I couldn't find the words. "I'm sorry," Ryan said again. "I'm sorry I didn't push back harder. I'm sorry I let her do this to you." I kept telling myself that maybe there was more to the story, that maybe you really had done something to hurt her. But watching you sit here all night, seeing how confused and hurt you are, I know the truth now. "What are you going to do?" I asked quietly. "I don't know," he admitted. "We leave for our honeymoon in Hawaii tomorrow. 2 weeks in paradise with someone I'm now not sure I really know. But when we get back, things are going to change. I'm not living in a marriage where my wife treats people like this." Before I could respond, a sharp voice cut through our conversation. "What the hell is going on here?" We both looked up to see Madison standing at our table, her face flushed with anger and champagne. Her maid of honor was behind her, looking uncomfortable. "Ryan, why are you sitting back here? People are asking where you are. We're supposed to cut the cake soon." "I'm talking to your sister," Ryan said calmly. "The sister you put at a table by herself in the corner, like she's some kind of pariah." Madison's eyes flashed dangerously. "This is MY wedding. The seating chart is MY business. And if I want to seat people based on who's actually been supportive of our relationship, that's my choice." "Supportive?" Ryan stood up. "Madison, your sister hasn't done anything wrong and you know it. She tried to seduce your brother at our engagement party." The accusation hung in the air. Several nearby tables had stopped talking and were now openly staring at us. "I talked to Jake for 20 minutes about hiking," I said, my voice shaking. "That's it. I didn't even know you had feelings for him." "Oh, please, everyone knows I've always liked Jake. And the second you saw him show interest in me, you swooped in like you always do. You can't stand that I'm prettier, more successful, more loved. You've been jealous of me our entire lives." "That's not true," I said, tears now streaming down my face. "Maddie, I love you. I've always supported you. I don't know where any of this is coming from. You've always been jealous. When I got better grades, when I got more attention from boys, when I got engaged before you even have a boyfriend. You can't stand that my life is perfect and yours is this." She gestured dismissively at me. The cruelty of it took my breath away. This wasn't my little sister. This was someone I didn't recognize. Ryan's voice was cold when he spoke. "Your life is perfect? You just humiliated your own sister at our wedding because you're insecure about a conversation that happened months ago. That's not perfect, Madison. That's cruel. How dare you take her side? On our wedding day." "I'm not taking sides. I'm pointing out that this is wrong. If you think she's so great, maybe you should have married her instead." The words echoed across the reception hall. The band had stopped playing. Everyone was watching now. My parents were standing up from their table, looking horrified. Ryan's parents were frozen by the dance floor. Ryan's voice was quiet, but everyone heard it. "Maybe I'm realizing I shouldn't have married someone who treats people like this." Madison's face went white, then red. "You don't mean that. I watched your sister sit alone for 3 hours at our wedding. 3 hours, Madison. While you laughed and danced and pretended she didn't exist. What kind of person does that? The kind of person who protects what's hers. Emily was trying to steal Jake from me. Jake was never yours. And Emily wasn't trying to steal anyone. You created this entire narrative in your head because you couldn't handle your crush showing interest in someone else." My mom rushed over. "Madison, sweetie, this has gone too far. Emily didn't do anything wrong. This jealousy over Jake has to stop." "Oh, so now everyone's ganging up on me? At MY wedding?" "You ganged up on your sister first," Ryan said coldly. "You lied about her, excluded her, humiliated her. And for what? Because my brother thought she was nice?" Madison looked around wildly, seeing all the eyes on her, the shocked faces, the disappointment. Her perfect wedding was unraveling in real time. "Fine," she said, her voice shaking.
"Fine.
If you all love Emily so much, if you think I'm such a terrible person, then maybe you should all leave. This is MY Day, and I won't have it ruined by her playing the victim. She's not playing anything, my dad said, his voice harder than I'd ever heard it. She's been sitting alone at a table while you celebrated. What you did was inexcusable. Then go. All of you. Get out. The reception descended into chaos. Some guests started gathering their things, unsure what to do. Others stood frozen, watching the meltdown. Ryan's parents were arguing with Madison's maid of honor. The wedding planner looked like she might cry. Ryan stood there, still in his tuxedo, watching his bride have a complete breakdown on what was supposed to be the happiest day of their lives. He turned to me. Emily, I'm so sorry.
For all of this.
You deserved better. Then he walked away from our table, away from Madison screaming, toward the exit. His best man followed him, and then several of his groomsmen. Madison shrieked, "Where are you going?" "Ryan, you can't leave our wedding." But he did. He walked right out of the reception hall, and I watched my sister's perfect wedding collapse around her. My mom helped me up from my table, my prison for the night, and guided me toward the door. As we left, I looked back once to see Madison standing in the middle of the empty dance floor in her white dress, mascara running down her face, surrounded by overturned chairs and abandoned champagne glasses. The DJ had stopped playing. The lights seemed too bright. And my sister was alone, just like she'd made sure I was. In the parking lot, Ryan was sitting on the hood of a car, tie completely off now, head in his hands. When he saw me, he stood up. I meant what I said in there. This was wrong. All of it. And I'm going to figure out what to do about my marriage, but Emily, you didn't deserve any of this. You need to know that. I nodded, not trusting myself to speak. As my parents drove me home that night, my phone started buzzing with texts. Cousins asking if I was okay. Friends who'd heard about the meltdown asking what happened. Even Jake, Ryan's brother, texting. Just heard what happened. I had no idea. I'm so sorry. For what it's worth, I did think you were cool at that party. Madison's behavior is inexcusable. But the text that made me cry all over again came from Ryan at 2 a.m. We're not going to Hawaii tomorrow. I can't get on a plane and pretend everything's okay when it's not. I need time to think about whether I can stay married to someone capable of treating you like that. I'm sorry your sister put us both in this position. You deserved a sister who loved you, and I deserved to know who I was really marrying. I never responded. What could I say? The next morning, I woke up to my phone exploding again. Madison had posted, and then quickly deleted, a Facebook rant about how our wedding was ruined by toxic family members who couldn't be happy for her. But not before multiple people had screenshot it. My parents were at my apartment by 10 a.m., looking like they'd aged a decade overnight. Madison and Ryan aren't going to Hawaii, my mom said quietly. Ryan's staying with his parents. Madison's at their apartment alone. She's been calling us all night, alternating between blaming you and begging us to fix things. There's nothing to fix, Mom. She did this to herself. I know, baby.
I know.
Your father and I were horrified. We knew she'd been weird about Jake, but we had no idea it had gotten this bad. The lying about you, the seating chart, the public meltdown, we don't know what to do.